This is Roger Hebard and his beautiful wife Elizabeth, and tonight we're in the 23rd chapter of Matthew. And so then Jesus said to the crowds and to his disciples, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on Moses' seat. So do and observe whatever they tell you, but not the works that they do. For they preach, but do not practice. They file up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on people's shoulders. But they themselves are not willing to move them with their finger. I liked what our governor one time was running for president, and they asked him, what are you going to do about Congress? He said, I'm going to send them home. If you're up there and you don't have anything to do, you're going to make some laws. They do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their phylacteries broad and their fringes long. I think the phylacteries were things they did on the bottom of their deals, their robes, to make them pray or something. And they love the place of honor at feasts and the best seats in the synagogues and greetings in the marketplaces and being called rabbi. You know, we have a rabbi priest, a Sunday school teacher. I call him rabbi. He's a completed Christian Jew, but he was brought up very Jewish. And he said that the rich people, they get to sit in the front seats in the synagogue, and the poor people in the back. And that's something. Okay, they like to be seen by others, but you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all brothers. And call no man your father on earth, for you have one Father who is in heaven. Neither be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Christ. The greatest among you shall be your servant. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. God loves humility. He hates pride. So those people who are doing such sinful works and they call themselves the Pride Month, golly, I mean, they're going way the wrong way. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut the kingdom of heaven in people's faces. For you neither enter yourselves nor allow those who would enter to go in. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you travel across sea and land to make a single proselyte, and then when he becomes a proselyte, you make him twice as much a child of hell as yourselves. Boy, he's giving them the dickens, isn't he? Woe to you, blind guides, who say, if anyone swears by the temple, it is nothing. But if he swears by the gold of the temple, he is bound by his oath. You blind fools, for which is greater, the gold or the temple that has made the gold sacred? I like it. And you say, if anyone swears by the altar, it is nothing. But if anyone swears by the gift that is on the altar, he is bound by his oath. You blind men, for which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sacred? So whoever swears by the altar swears by it and everything on it. And whoever swears by the temple swears by it and by him who dwells in it. And whoever swears by heaven swears by the throne of God and by him who sits upon it. Oh, I mean, he's after those scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites. Woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe mint and dill and cumin, and have neglected the weightier matters of the law, justice and mercy and faithfulness. These you ought to have done without neglecting the others. You blind guides, straining out a gnat and swallowing a camel. Man, is he on a tear. Woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites. You know, I kind of wonder, you know, you get these big denominations, and they more or less get into traditions and get into unbelief. You know, I can understand where Jesus is coming from, and these people are so full of their own traditions that they've gone totally from unbelief to all these laws and ways of doing things. I just wonder if that doesn't happen. You know, for you clean the outside of the cup and plate, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisees, first clean the inside of the cup and the plate, and then the outside also may be clean. You know, that's one thing we need to know, and that is you put your mind, set your mind and walk on the Spirit. You know, the Spirit, you know the spiritual truths, the spiritual fruit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. And you do that and not on the flesh. And that's more or less what he's saying here. They're into the flesh and not the Spirit. Woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like whitewashed tombs, which outwardly appear beautiful and within are full of dead people's bones and uncleanness. So you outwardly appear righteous to others, but within you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the monuments of the righteous, saying, if we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. Thus you witness against yourselves that you are sons of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up, then, the measure of your fathers, you serpents, you brood of vipers. Wow, how are you to escape being sentenced to hell? Therefore I send you prophets and wise men and scribes, some of you whom you will kill and crucify, and some you will flog in your synagogues. And wow, is that true? Have they ever done that? And persecute from town to town, so that on you may come some of the righteous blood shed on earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, the son of Barchiah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. Truly I say to you, all these things will come upon this generation. I think that was when that King Joash, I think that was during his time. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often I would have gathered you children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. See, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Wow. All right. That was Matthew 23, and now we're going to go to 2 Corinthians, and I believe we're in the 4th chapter there.